यार हम क्या कुछ नहीं कर रहे
हम
अपने
क्या
फैंस
कुछ
के लिए।
बिल्कुल, लेकिन फैंस क्या हैं कि वो वीडियो लाइक नहीं कर रहे। वीडियो के ऊपर 80 व्यूज हैं, ये 2 या 3 लाइक आए होते हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल से ये हमारा शिकवा बिल्कुल बनता है। वीडियो आप देख रहे हैं, लाइक करना बनता है, शेयर भी करना बनता है, और कमेंट भी बनता है। अभी तक मेरे ख्याल से
बेल आइकन को भी
बेल
सब्सक्राइब
आइकन को
करना।
भी दबाएं, ताकि क्योंकि हम रोज तकरीबन वीडियोस बना रहे हैं अब, तो कहीं मिस ना हो जाए आपकी। अभी तक हमारा सिर्फ एक रेगुलर कमेंटिंग सब्सक्राइबर है 9 लोगों में से, खतीजा, शाउट आउट अगेन। लेकिन आपने पिछली वीडियो पे कमेंट नहीं किया, शायद देखी नहीं, लेकिन
किया है उसने।
किया।
Yeah, she did, she did.
थैंक यू खतीजा।
Also
बट
thanks to Zoha
यस,
and Faiz and
फाइज,
Mustafiz also.
यस,
I think all of them also regularly watch.
या,
So good job on that.
या,
Others who are watching silently need to make themselves visible
हाँ, थोड़ा
and
एफर्ट करेंगे।
and make their presence felt.
हम्म,
Anyways, we're in the same apparel as episode 5 because this is the same day. But this is going to be episode 6 of the King Pair podcast.
yes,
And we're going to talk about something very niche. Not niche, rather just specific.
yeah.
In this episode, and we'll try to keep it short but very statistic based. तो करें इब्तिदा।
तो शुरू करते हैं इसमें। सो दानिया रसूल रोट एन आर्टिकल ऑन क्रिक इन्फो, जिसके ऊपर काफी लोगों ने लाइक देयर इज बीन अ बिट ऑफ डिवीजन बिटवीन पीपल्स टेक्स ऑन इट, बिकॉज आई थिंक जर्नलिज्म का जो हमने पिछली वीडियो में भी बात की थी एपिसोड 4 में, कि पीपल लाइक जर्नलिस्ट आर वे टू नेगेटिव। वो थोड़ा सा कोई मसला होता है तो टीम पे शुरू हो जाते हैं क्रिटिसिज्म करना, एक वेरी एक्सट्रीम काइंड्स लाइक द लाइक्स ऑफ Dog, Tanveer Ahmed, and so on, like the list would go on. और वही sensationalize करने लग जाते हैं. So I don't think the article, I read it to Dania Rasul. I think it was more of a like a cautious reading of our current situation, because I think पिछले कुछ सालों से, since Babar has taken over, the team's been doing really well, and I think more than anything we've seen consistency come up, and that's great news. Top order में I think अगर तुम याद करो तो एक टाइम हफीज और नाज़िर जमशेद का था, और उनके सामने तो कोई थोड़ा सा सीमिंग वाला बॉलर आता था तो वो तो 0 for 2 टाइप से, या अहमद शहजाद भी जब होता था
एक तो गिरनी होती ना पहले 2 ओवरों में विकेट,
बिल्कुल ऐसे ही था. So it was I think काफी stability आई है. Fakhr's been here since 2017, and Imam has been here since I think about 2018, about तो तकरीबन 4-5 साल दोनों को मिले हुए. I think that's unbelievable. What was even more unbelievable was a statistic which we're going to share with you as well. दानियाल रसूल ने अपने आर्टिकल में ही लिखा था. So Pakistan over the last 3 years since the 2019 World Cup basically has been the most reliant on their top order. Most runs have been made by the top 3, जिसमें हमारा इमाम, फखर और बाबर आते हैं. And I mean, of course, and it's a pretty big margin. 13% is the difference between New Zealand and Pakistan at the top. तो हाँ कुछ मतलब again, I don't think this was an overly critical take, because I read it and I did agree with some of the cautions which he brought up, के middle order आपका stable नहीं है, which is true because there have been changes. Iftikhar's been in and out, Haider has been in, Haider Ali has been in and out, Imad has been in and out, तो उसके अंदर definitely थोड़ा मसला रहा है. And then we'll also of course talk about the bowling, but what is your take, what is your thoughts on the top
interesting है क्योंकि Aaron brought this up and he was like, I think this is a good statistic, even just the statistic to have a podcast on, and I agreed क्योंकि मैंने नहीं पढ़ा वो article, and in fact we haven't even talked about the article, like this is him telling it to me the first time actually, like in detail कि क्या scene है. But this statistic I think is very shocking to me, खासतौर पे जब मैंने पहली दफा देखी, क्योंकि you never expect Pakistan to be on the top in terms of relying on their top order. Like we are traditionally a team that जो नीचे जाके संभालती है गेम को, and we get into a crisis situation and then our whole our whole saga is to rebuild the innings. वो rebuilding phase जो होता है ना वो शुरू हो जाता है फिर और वही हमने पिछले को 20 सालों से बड़े उत्तर यही सुना है कि जी अच्छा अब हर मैच में जो है ना वो 4 विकेटें गिर गई या 3 विकेटें गिर गई ऊपर से अब रीबिल्डिंग फेज है मलिक आ रहा है और एक को एंकर बनना पड़ेगा
बिल्कुल and this was every match Misbah's era I think this was every match
तो यहाँ पर like this is in a lot of ways good because it shows कि your top order is performing but then it's also scary क्योंकि अभी हल्का सा क्रम्बल किया है आज का मतलब है कि जो थर्ड ओडी है पाक वर्सेस वेस्ट इंडीज
अकील हुसैन took 4
अकील हुसैन took 4 और बाबर एक पे आउट हो गया और फिर मिडिल ऑर्डर 5 हो गया
ने क्या किया हैदर the new
फिर नीचे से शादाब ने आके made 86 which Aram was just telling me is another
record
record
so that's the highest score for number 7 in Pakistan cricket. Last one was 85 by Afridi at Multan in 2008
so which is again a good sign again we're not saying there is something to be alarmed about but there's definitely much more attention that could be paid to the middle order और I think सबसे बड़ा सवाल ये कि आप middle order को in action कैसे रख रहे हैं you know like अगर वो game में नहीं खेल रहा for example how are you keeping them active how are you keeping them relevant how are you making them practice how are you making them train I think these are very important questions क्योंकि मसला ये होता है कि जब इस तरह की टीम बन जाए आपकी कि 66% जो है वो टॉप ऑर्डर परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं उसका मतलब है the 34% which won't be a lot but those 34% will really win you matches and they might win you crunch matches and those could be World Cup matches those could be qualifiers those could be anything
Absolutely I think आप T20 World Cup को भी अगर निकाल लें even आप ये पिछले कुछ मैचेस निकाल लें जिनमें we had to chase 350 against Australia or even that 306 odd chase against West Indies. It was Kushtil and Kushtil at the end who had to come and finish the match off. Uske bagair to it would be a loss. Same thing T20 World Cup mein Asif Ali was finishing the matches off. So in fact lower middle order ke sath I think there's less concern. It's more the middle order even though इस मिडिल ऑर्डर के अंदर कोई हल्के बैट्समैन नहीं है रिजवान इज इन द मिडिल ऑर्डर हैदर पहला मैच था तो ऑफ कोर्स कांट ब्लेम हिम येट but yeah Rizwan is there Kushtil bhi aaj middle order usko promote kar diya tha so we're a bit stable between that 4 to perhaps that 6th position a bit but again it's nothing to be alarmed about I think it is a cause for concern and I think ye har team mein hota hai जिसके अंदर top order बहुत strong हो जाए I think we've seen the same issue with India in the past when it was Sharma, Dhawan and Kohli at the top जैसे वो तीनों गिरते थे it would I mean that would kind of be the key to India's batting
अभी भी उनका मसला नहीं ईशान किशन को फिर लेकर आए वो बीच में और अय्यर को लेकर आए they were trying out so many different people in their middle order I don't know where they stand खैर इंडिया पे वो ड्यू है एक एपिसोड पूरा कोहली पे इंडिया पे बट हाँ उनके मिडिल ऑर्डर के डेफिनेटली मसले रहे
हाँ and again you'll see in fact the same thing with South Africa उनका middle order ज़्यादा struggle करेगा but they'll still have good finishers I think that's quite interesting as well because South Africa का भी ये बहुत issue था where top पे it was Amla Smith and Faf आके innings build करते थे middle में they would end up struggling and I think it was also because कि ये टॉप 3 इतनी गेम निकाल देते थे कि वो मिडिल ऑर्डर का रोल ही खत्म हो जाता था तो दे वुड कॉन्स्टेंटली बी शिफ्टिंग देयर रोल्स वेयर पिंच हिटर को पहले भेजना होता था बिकॉज ओवर 10 रह गया तो क्या आके बैटिंग करेगा तो परहैप्स दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू बी फेसिंग अ लॉट ऑफ डिलीवरी अ लॉट ऑफ गेटिंग अ लॉट ऑफ गेम टाइम अगर आपका टॉप 3 ऐसा है
हाँ वेरी ट्रू I also think कि इसमें से अच्छा ऑस्ट्रेलिया को देखो तुम तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया is like 47-53 which means it's a well balanced dependency और इस तरह इंडिया भी जो है वो 45-55 पे है फिर UAE doesn't really count because it doesn't play a lot Bangladesh is there and England also 42-58 so the good teams are sort of in a balance right like it's barring New Zealand and Pakistan of course which I would count as good teams
South Africa even to be honest South Africa is pretty strong
but I mean it happens if you have the best batsman in the world arguably opening the innings for you or coming one down whatever format
I mean you can't be upset about it कि
yeah
क्यों बना रहे हैं इतने रन
exactly
but I think what kind of changes the match in such situations then is, and we can come to the bowling now. Jiske andar Daniel Rasul again, he put up some important questions about Shaheen's role. So Shaheen has kind of been that stable bowler, completely dependable. आएगा पहला over कराएगा, wicket भी ले जाएगा. In most cases, अपने पहले spell में ही तो the person, the bowler taking the ball from the other end has been kind of switching between Hassan. Rauf took it for a while. Wasim has done it. Dahani opened the bowling as well. So Hasnain ne bhi, when his action was all good, तो काफी changes रहे हैं. We even tried opening with Imad, Nawaz ने भी शुरू की हुई है. So it's been quite dynamic at the other end, जहाँ Shaheen अकेला कर रहा है. And perhaps also because Hassan की अपनी form के साथ issues रहे. With the spinner, it's always dependent on the conditions probably, and with Rauf, it's just his control with the new ball. I think he's struggled with that since the beginning. He's more of a death bowler.
Yeah. I think any team that has to win matches, and I think we both think good bowling wins you matches. Of course, you can't generalize for every situation. But I think the teams that win matches have at least a pair of good bowlers.
The king pair.
You take the king pair indeed. You take any good team or any world-class team in the world. You take the West Indians. They had 4 bowlers, right?
Yeah.
The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. You take Australia. You had McGrath, you had Gillespie.
Yeah.
You had someone at least who was constant, who was consistent.
That was the fast bowling cartel.
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
और ब्रेटली फिर आ गया बीच में. इसी तरह वसीम वकार, शोएब अख्तर. इंडिया हैड फॉर वन टाइम कौन था, जहीर खान था और
Srishant, I guess.
Yeah.
Abhi Ishant Sharma was there.
Ishant Sharma was there. So bowling is a very collaborative effort. क्योंकि हमें लगता है कि बैटिंग पार्टनरशिप्स होती हैं, राइट? बैटिंग पार्ट, लेकिन bowling partnerships are super important.
Absolutely.
क्योंकि they not only divide the work between the two bowlers, they also ensure कि there is space for other people to come in.
Absolutely.
And I think we are going through the phase where we are searching for our pair or our quartet or our triplet. Jahan par Wasim has started to perform.
Yes,
right?
I really like him.
Yeah, and I think Wasim can be the one person who could actually, in the opening spells, could actually complement Shaheen. Because hai bhi righty hai na? He's a right-hander, and that's like good. I think it's again वही जैसे बैटिंग में होता है वैसे bowling में भी होता है कि the batsmen face different kinds of bowlers. Height wise भी थोड़ी disparity है, which is again वो वसीम वकार का भी ये था. Right left height disparity, तो एक skid करता था, एक bounce करता था, एक ही length पे होता था, एक ही movement पे होता था. So I think कि वो matter करता है. हाँ, Rauf for death is brilliant. And then Hassan is just inconsistent, I would say.
At the moment, I think
at the moment he is.
He needs to get some form back. But जहाँ तक वसीम की बात की है, I'm actually I remember even watching him bowl in the first match, and I think एक चीज जो मैंने notice की थी was how he was really hitting, like वो जिसको कहते हैं ना, bowling a heavy ball. Basically, you really saw that. And I think Ian Bishop has mentioned that a few times as well. I think that's a great.
He's hitting the deck.
He's hitting it quite hard, and he's really quick. और इसका when you're bowling a heavy ball, the फायदा इसका ये होता है कि it comes on a lot quicker than the batsman thinks. So he can be bowling at like 138, but it'll come on just as quick as a 140 plus delivery. So I think that's really good. I think he's someone who can kind of take the batsman on with Shaheen on the other end. Varna, I think जहाँ तक spin options हैं, Nawaz is a great one, and Shadab, I think ये दोनों जबरदस्त
are plus off and leg spin. No, I think this is turning out to be really good. Like if Nawaz like stays consistent and Shadab stays consistent, क्योंकि ये भी बड़ा मसला था हमारे पास. अच्छा, अभी तक टेस्ट के लिए हमारे पास ये नहीं है.
Yeah, we have Sajid and Noman. उसके ऊपर I think एक और discussion बनती है because these guys have struggled
टीम पे
on these pitches at least.
हाँ लेकिन ओडीआई के अंदर आई थिंक अगर नवाज और शादाब थोड़ा कंसिस्टेंटली परफॉर्म करना शुरू कर देते हैं ना और इस तरह परफॉर्म करना शुरू कर देते हैं कि एटलीस्ट होम पे आप यू आर टेकिंग कंप्लीट एडवांटेज ऑफ दी स्पिनिंग कंडीशंस तो आई थिंक दैट दिस आई मीन देन यू आर looking at you're not looking at a team that has winners. You are actually looking at a team that is a winning team, and that's a very scary team.
Yeah,
because it has everything, right? It has a great top order. It has an amazing middle order.
Yeah,
which is of course what is under discussion today.
Yeah,
it has potentially a good middle order. Right now, it has a good lower batting order. Then it has one fast bowler. There is one more fast bowler like Wasim. And then the two spinners. I mean, that's a complete team.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't ask for more.
Absolutely.
And we're very close to achieving that.
हाँ, we are absolutely. और अभी भी middle order में I think concern है, लेकिन at the same time, it's Rizwan in the middle order.
Yeah.
So like, he's been so good in like the last few years. You know he's going to get form anytime. और फिर वो भी run बहुत मारेगा, hopefully. Talking about this spin department, Nawaz actually started from test matches and Misbah brought him in. Okay. And interestingly, मैं जिस वक्त मैचेस देख भी रहा था तो हमारे दोस्तों में आपस में बस एक हमारी perception बन गई थी that Misbah somehow hates him because I mean of course not literally meaning that but it was because he wouldn't bowl him throughout the innings. We didn't know if he'd kept him as a batsman. अगर bowler के तौर पे मतलब बैटिंग तो उसकी इतनी 6-7 पे आती थी, even lower at times, and if you're not bowling him, तो what's the point of having him in the team? तो ये काफी predicament रहा था, and I think you could consider him for that because we have two right arm off spinners right now. Or is Noman left-handed? Noman is left. Yeah, I think Noman is left-handed. But I think maybe you can, अगर तो Noman या ये Sajid से अभी नहीं हो रहा तो I mean it's fair to give Nawaz another chance as well. Yeah. To just give ourselves another test bowling option. I think there's nothing wrong with that.
यार leggies नहीं है हमारे पास. Shadab नहीं करा रहा ना.
Yasir is out.
Yasir is out and Shadab does not participate in tests.
I don't खिलाए हैं actually. He's been recently वो New Zealand वाले tour में मुझे याद है काफी अच्छा खेला था फहीम और उसमें.
But does he have the temperament? Like वो भी होती है.
He actually had a few good innings, so I would say that he does.
यार पता है फिर
उसके
वो ना
fitness issues रहे हैं.
हाँ. Otherwise he can become like a Stokes type.
Absolutely.
Person in the team.
I do think that
because like although Stokes is like a medium pacer or fast bowler, but I think if Shadab can be consistent and fitness issues ना हो और उसका temperament अगर वो वाला निकल आया, क्योंकि वही होता है कि the temperament sort of gets tested in bad test matches. You know the test matches that you lose, जहाँ पे आपको 80, 90, 10, 110 ओवर जो है वो आपको bowling करानी पड़ जाती है. और you know someone like Nathan Ryan.
बिल्कुल, and I think we both saw him live, तो हम तो बता सकते हैं कि पूरा दिन वो जितनी consistency से bowling करा रहा था ना, it was, I mean, you felt at the end that he did deserve the wickets because I'm sure he's setting them up as well when he's bowling, and
for sure.
मतलब इतना it was a toil, and जब वो फिर विकेटें गिरना शुरू होती हैं तो it doesn't stop. So
it was beautiful because he was struggling for it. Yeah. You can see him कि field placement आहिस्ता अंदर आ रही है, you know, silly mid on खड़े हुए हैं, chances create हो रहे हैं,
and the moment he saw Imam struggle, all the field came in, and Imam never got back after that.
And that's like the psychological pressure also, right? Like and that's also what I mean when I say test match temperament. ये वो test match में होता है कि आपको पता होना चाहिए exactly as a bowler आपने कब, even as anything, as a batsman, as a captain, when are you going to attack? Because that is the dubious part in a test match, right? In a T20 it's obvious. Yeah. अच्छा ये power play ये है everything ये death overs है, right? Yeah. And ODI very similar. But in a test match you can't have a one size fits all.
Absolutely. It's playing the moment every moment, right? Sensing that bit of fear or bit of struggle in the batsman.
Capitalizing on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Abhi, this was a good discussion on it, but let's we can talk a lot more about this in following episodes, but I think for now we've talked a bit about this article. I think I would like to appreciate Daniel Rasool for writing this. It was a timely piece because I think everybody was kind of in that phase where they were like, we're almost becoming undefeatable, and it's turning into that kind of team. He does acknowledge people like Shaheen, people like Babar, Imam, in इस quality के players हमारे पास बहुत देर से नहीं है. This dependable and perhaps these guys have been winning you matches one after the other. And
I think everyone should I think including me should read that article. And I think also sort of comment on what you guys think, whether you think even like you could very well disagree with it and say कि नहीं, like एक आधी बुरी performance से ये नहीं होता कि आपका middle order आप ये label करना शुरू कर दोगे. It's not dependable, and that's also completely understandable take.
I think that's all, guys. Comment zarur karein. Tell us what you think about whatever we've discussed about, and like, share, subscribe.
और bell icon को दबाना ना भूलें.
Bell icon को दबाना.